Welcome to Puerto Rico English News, the only English-speaking broadcast of local Puerto Rican news and entertainment. Please subscribe. Keep us alive.
Las Marias, Puerto Rico. Two bodies were found this morning, September 13, shot, gagged and tied up on the side of PR 407, kilometer 1.7, in the Alto Sano neighborhood, the police reported. The men were identified as Joshua Lopez Morales, 22, of Cabo, Rojo, and Leuvis Rivera Pagan, 24, of Lajas. None had a criminal record, according to the police. The crime was reported around 7:30 a.m. Monday, September 13. One of the bodies was face up and the other face down, the police reported.
Aguas, Buenas, Puerto Rico. At 6:53 a.m. this September 13th, the authorities reported the murder of a man at kilometer 5.3 of the PR 797, near the Aguas Abajo neighborhood. According to the preliminary report, the victim was found in the grassy area next to the road, had multiple gunshot wounds in different parts of the body. As of yet, he has not been identified, but was described as a white-skinned man, 5 feet 8 inches tall, and approximately 120 pounds. He wore a white shirt, black shorts, and was barefoot. As of September 13th, the police have reported 416 murders, 63 more than registered on the same date in 2020.
The authorities are investigating 5 murders that they reported separately, Saturday, September 11th, in 3 municipalities. In one of the crimes, a woman was killed in Gurabo, in an incident that is being investigated as a case of gender violence. At around noon yesterday, the body of the victim, identified as Rosa Julia Felix Gomez, 54, a resident of Gurabo, was found next to a vehicle with a rope tied around her neck and her face bloody. A witness notified the police, who later arrested Jorge Alberto Baliz Colon, 59, a resident of Guanica, who was convicted in 2011 for another case of gender violence against his partner at that time. Later, that night, a man was murdered on Marquez Street in the Monciones, Carolina neighborhood. He was identified as Jorge Javier Rivera Ruiz, 29. His body was found by authorities around 8:05 p.m. after a call to the 911 emergency system alerted to a person who was shot at the scene. In another incident, at about 9:20 p.m. a man was killed and 2 other people were shot on PR 182 highway, behind a bakery in the Villa Kili sector of the Calabazas neighborhood in Yubucoa. The police reported that Manuel Gonzalez Vazquez, 25, was transported to the Mennonite Hospital in Yubucoa, where he died while receiving medical assistance. In the shooting, a 29-year-old man and a 22-year-old woman received gunshot wounds, who were transported in stable condition to a hospital in the area. And again, this Saturday night, a double murder was reported at 10:22 p.m., in front of a residence on Aruset Dominguez Street in the Severo Quiñones neighborhood in Carolina. So far, none of the victims have been identified. A call to the 911 emergency system alerted people to gunshots fired. When the agents arrived, they found the bodies shot inside a vehicle.
In other news, the Department of Health reported Tuesday, September 14, 25 new deaths from COVID-19 in Puerto Rico, including one under the age of 5 whose death was confirmed by the Institute of Forensic Sciences. Following this report, Puerto Rico's total are 3,028 deaths from the SARS-CoV-2 coronavirus. In addition, the average number of deaths per day, based on a 7-day period, is 9. So far in September, 128 deaths have been registered as a result of the virus, according to the agency's website.
Federal Judge Pedro Delgado will decide at the end of this month whether or not to halt the executive order of Governor Pedro Pierluisi that established compulsory vaccination against COVID-19 or weekly negative tests so that public employees can work in person. Judge Delgado indicated today that he will hold a preliminary injunction hearing on September 21st. The court is reserving the resolution of the motion for the preliminary injunction in the motion to dismiss, and expects to issue a decision no later than 48 hours after the preliminary injunction hearing, said the judge, during a hearing September 10th.
The families of disabled persons in Puerto Rico have filed a class action lawsuit against the United States government and the Social Security Administration, in the federal court of San Juan, where the case has been paralyzed for a year. The same has happened with a similar lawsuit that was submitted on behalf of other disabled Puerto Ricans, as they remain stagnant awaiting what the United States Supreme Court decides in another case. The families of the disabled adults met there to demand that the courts urgently address the processes against the exclusion of the island's residents from the Supplemental Security Income (SSI) program. A complainant in the lawsuit, Don Abraham Rivera, 70, took his son Emmanuel Rivera Fuentes, 35, in his arms to place him in the wheelchair, and they crossed the avenue, accompanied by the young man's mother, 65, also supported by a walker. "It is necessary, urgent, because the longer they take, the worse it is for him," said Don Abraham.
The owner of the Yeta, a private boat charter Puerto Rico company, Jorge Javier Marrero Gerena, has been in negotiations with the federal prosecutor's office while deciding whether or not to plead guilty to federal child exploitation charges. The federal grand jury charges accuse him of inducing a teenager to engage in sexual conduct, for attempting it with 3 other minors, and for producing child pornography. It was alleged that Marrero Gerena was sending texts to minors to take them to his boat for bikini photo shooting and giving them alcohol.
In business news, the Ikea chain confirmed that it will open its first full-service store on the island on Wednesday, September 29th, which will be at the Santa Rosa Mall in Bayamon, Puerto Rico. Ikea is going to fulfill its dream of having a complete store in Puerto Rico. "We are excited about the project, and today finally, we can say that we will open without delay on September 29th, said Mayra Diaz, Ikea marketing manager for the Caribbean.
Walmart Puerto Rico announced the opening of the call for the 4th edition of its Open Call program, the objective of which is to continue increasing the purchase of products manufactured, processed or harvested on the island by $60 million until 2023 to replace imported merchandise and contribute to the growth of local entrepreneurs and industrialists. In a press release, it was reported that the event will be held virtually for the second year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Local suppliers interested in presenting their products to buyers at Walmart and Amiga stores in Puerto Rico during Open Call PR 2021 can register between September 2nd and September 24th through www.opencallwalmart.com.
Tonight, the Met Gala officially returned to New York City. While it was true that the list of celebrities who would attend the traditional gala of the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York was kept secret, it was also true that one of the most anticipated was the actress and singer Jenifer Lopez, who on this occasion wore an outfit by designer Ralph Lauren, in a long dress with a train and a wide opening in the front, which completely exposed one of her legs. The also called Bronx diva wore an imposing style, which included a hat, feathers, a plunging neckline and a belt. Before showing off on the steps and corridors of the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, in the event known as the Biggest Night of Fashion, the singer previewed her outfit through her Instagram account.
Politician and Democratic activist, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, has launched a message with her dress Monday night, at the gala of the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. On the white background on the back of her dress it can be read in red tax the rich. It is a Brother Veliz design in that the congresswoman combined it with red high-heeled sandals. Likewise, she put a maga flower in her hair to accentuate her Puerto Rican roots.
Starting this week, a variety of activities will be held in San Juan to celebrate the 500th anniversary of its founding, for the enjoyment of all Puerto Ricans. Various events with artistic, cultural, business and gastronomic offers from September 9th will be part of the opening to the celebration of the history of the capital, and that will last for the next 10 months, to culminate with the 5th Centennial Regatta the next summer. We contemplate that there will be thousands of people who will participate in these events, either in person or as we are doing as a result of the pandemic through the media and on digital platforms, said San Juan Mayor Miguel Romero, who also urged Puerto Ricans in the United States to become ambassadors for this celebration by promoting these events. Mayor Romero called the festival a comprehensive program with which it is expected not only to promote tourism in San Juan and Puerto Rico, but also serve as an economic injection for small and large merchants. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Help us survive.